Is Amazon quietly taking more of every dollar you make? Your sales can be fine, your ACOS can be fine, and your profit can still be quietly shrinking because Amazon is taking a bigger cut of every single dollar than it used to. The blind spot. Your P&L shows Amazon's cost as one lump total. It usually doesn't show the creep happening inside that total. A small shift in referral fees here, an FBA size tier change, storage costs picking up, returns increasing slightly, ad load climbing a little bit more each month. No single one of these items ever looks dramatic on its own, but add them all together, moving in the same direction, and they can quietly eat 2 or 3 full margin points over the course of a year without obvious rubber flags ever appearing. The danger was never one big fee. It's 6 small ones moving the same direction at the same time, spread across reports that nobody ever sits down and reconciles together. What? The skill measures. The check adds everything Amazon takes from you and expresses it as a share of your total sales. The skill groups every cost into buckets: referral fees, FBA fulfillment, storage, returns, or other Amazon fees, ad spend, or ad load. Then it calculates Amazon's total take rate for the period and compares that number against last month and against the same month last year. Drift is the point. The raw numbers matter, but the drift is the actual sign you're looking for. If Amazon's total take was 39.9% of sales last month and 41.3% this month, that's a 1.4 point drift in a single month. 1 month of drift and its own might sound alarming, but if that same drift persists at your current sales volume, it can translate into tens of thousands of dollars annualized margin risk. Money that just quietly stopped being yours. Biggest mover. The most important part of this isn't just that Amazon's cut went up. It's figuring out exactly which bucket caused it. If storage is the biggest mover, the question becomes about your inventory levels. If FBA fulfillment is the biggest mover, it might be about a fee schedule change out of your control, or it might be about packaging, product mix, or size and weight classification, which you can actually fix. If returns are driving it, the question shifts to a product quality, listing clarity, or packaging. And if the ad load is the biggest mover, the real question is whether the growth is being bought a little too aggressively right now. What to ask your agency? This turns a vague statement like Amazon fees went up to a much sharper conversation. Which specific cost moved? Why did it move? And can we actually fix it? Try asking something like this. Amazon's total take rose 1.4 points this month, led by FBA and storage, about $34,000 a year at our current volume. Is the FBA increase a fee schedule change or a size classification we could fix with better packaging? And is the storage increase just normal Q4 seasonality, or are we sitting on aged inventory? A good answer will clearly separate fee schedule changes you can't control from operational causes you actually can. What reports this needs? You can run this from your payment transaction report plus your total ad spend. The core input is the payments or transaction report because it contains the fee types broken out per order and your ad spend on top of that to capture the full ad load as part of your total costs of selling on Amazon. Ideally, compare this month, last month, and the same month last year, and you're not fooled by a single noisy period. How to interpret the drift? Not every single movement here is an emergency, but every single movement deserves a clear label so nothing quietly slides unnoticed. A take rate moving down by 0.5% or more is easy. Movement within about 0.5 point either way is holding steady. A rise of 0.5 point to 1.5 points is drifting. Anything rising more than 1.5 points is actually eroding your margin. Labeling it this way turns an abstract feeling of margins feel tighter today into something concrete you can actually point to and discuss. Edge cases and smart interpretation. You still need to have context here, especially around seasonality and timing. Storage costs often spike naturally in Q4. Return rates can spike right after holidays. Refunds and certain fees can post in a completely different month than the original sale did. That's exactly why a useful year-over-year comparison and a multi-month-on-month trend are far more trustworthy than reading too much into a single isolated month. DIY versus live system. The manual version catches the problem the moment you actually run it. The system version watches for it continuously without you having to remember. A live connection can pull ad spend and sales data automatically, while the detailed fee breakdown still typically comes from the payment data. The underlying calculation stays exactly the same either way. The real upgrade is the cadence. When this check runs automatically in the background, slow margin drift gets flagged the moment it starts, not a year later when you finally sit down for an annual review. If you want to see whether Amazon is quietly taking more of every single dollar you make, download the monthly Claude Amazon self-check in the description. The fee and margin drift skill is included. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.